The scale is not a true indication of weight loss. Do not rely on the scale when you're losing weight. In fact, ignore it completely. And I'm going to elaborate on this. We are conditioned that when we lose weight, we use the scale as an indicator of success and progress. That's wrong. I've got a client just now who has lost 3 stone in the last few months, and she is so upset because the scale is no longer moving at the same rate as it was before. And the reason why we shouldn't rely on the scale is because it's a fucking liar. And here's the reason why. When we eat food, it sits in our stomach. That can affect the scale. When we have a high amount of carbs, it adds water. That can affect the scale. When we are swollen through inflammation on various things, through illness, injury, working out, having walked a lot of steps the day before, that can affect the scale weight. If we are a female and we are menstruating, that can affect the scale weight, and I'm going to break that down individually. So, carbohydrates are the number 1 cause of instant weight gain. And the reason for that is, for every 1 gram of carbohydrate that we have, we will put on 4 grams of water weight. Now let that sink in. If you're going to have a 400 gram bowl of pasta, the very next day you will be 1.2 kilograms heavier through water, and you can't change that. There is nothing you can possibly do to stop that from happening, because it's biology. The water stays in our muscles as a form of glycogen, therefore we look puffier, we are heavier. Now, if you've not done a jobby, which is the Scottish word for poo if you're from abroad, then that weight is also there. So let's take that factor and include it. So you get 400 grams from the pasta, plus the 1.2 kilograms of water weight. That's us now up at 1.6 kilograms of water weight the very next day. Now that's not including all the other food that you've eaten through the day. That is why the scale weight isn't a true reflection. And what most people do, and I'm guilty of this myself, I am so guilty of this, I've tried to lose weight for years upon years upon years, and every time I thought I was making a success, I'd step on the scale, see my weight shot up, thought, fuck this, I can't handle this, I'm clearly not losing weight, I'm doing everything wrong, calorie deficit doesn't work for me. I'd shit out of it, and I'd just go back to binging, and then I'd basically resign myself to the fact that I was going to be overweight for years. And that was on me. If we trust the math, if we trust the process of a calorie deficit, no matter what the scale weight is, as long as you are within your calorie deficit, you will be losing fat. And that's the important differentiation here. If you're not in a deficit, you're not losing weight. And I'm going to put a wee link to the other video here about calorie deficit and why it's important, so watch that. You need to detach yourself from the scale. It's not a true representation of progress. If you are a female and you are on your menstruating cycle, easy for some people to say, not for me, that's going to cause inflammation, and that's going to affect the scale weight as well. So that's going to add water, and you can be up to 2 kilograms heavier just from being on your cycle. And that's not including the carbohydrates and the food that's still in your stomach, okay? And then on top of that, further, we have the inflammation from doing exercise. Now that could be if you go to the gym, you do a heavy workout, the next day your body's going to be inflamed. That's going to add water as well.
Watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Sorry about that. If you have done a lot of steps, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 steps, your body's going to be inflamed as well. So that adds to it. So you add all these factors in. Imagine you're a female, you've had a big plate of carbs, you're menstruating, and you've done a really big workout the next day, or sorry, a workout the day before. You stand on the scale, you can be 2 to 3 kilos heavier than the day before, but you're still in your deficit. You're doing everything right, but the scale doesn't do that. Now you imagine that over a few days, you go, fuck this, I can't handle this, I'm doing everything right, and it's not working, fuck it. You then hit the fuck it button, all the crisp comes out, the fizzy juice, the chocolate, pizza, whatever it might be, all of these are carb heavy. So then you restrict and you go, right, okay, I'm going to weigh myself and see where I am. And then all of a sudden, you're 3-4 kilos up. That's just water. But then you hit the fuck it button again, and then this cycle repeats, and before you know it, you're fucking 4, 5, 6 kilos heavier. All you had to do was reset and think, am I still in my deficit? You look at your calorie deficit numbers, yes, I'm still in it. Then you are still losing weight. So the problem is, people get so fixated on the scales, they see the number jump and they think they can't stay in a deficit, they can't fucking do it, they're not capable of losing weight, when that's not true. Now I've got a client who has lost a stone, which is about 6.5 kilos, and they've resigned themselves to they're not going to lose weight. But when you look at their data, they've dropped 3 inches in their waist. They have got some absolute amazing personal records in lifting their weights, and they're also taking 2 minutes off their personal best for a run. Now look at the progress they've made. If they kept fixating on the scale, then they would think that they've made zero progress. Now it might take them a bit longer to get to their target weight, but target weight doesn't always necessitate progress. You need to look at what you've achieved as opposed to just fixating on the number on the scale, because it means fuck all. The scale is for data only. It is not a judge. And the longer that you let a scale rule your mindset, the less chance you've got of progress. So look at how you feel, how your clothes fit, what progress you've made, and what you need to achieve to get to your goals. Don't fucking focus on the scale. The numbers are temporary, because what can happen is you can be in a deficit and it will stay the same, drop. You could also be in a deficit and you'll peak and it'll be up, down, up, down. But overall, over the course of a month, we want to have a lower point compared to a higher point. As long as that's going down, and it's not going to go down like an escalator, nice and linear, it's going to go do. The most important thing is calories. If you are over or under by 100 at the end of the week, and as long as those deficit numbers are there, I promise you, you will be losing fat, and fat's important. And the reason fat's important is when we're in a calorie deficit, again, there's a video that I point you to, you'll be losing fat. Because what happens is we will start burning muscle, and we don't want to burn muscle because you'll still be skinny fat. Now that's a bit long-winded. I hope the point's there. Don't fucking focus on the scale. It means fucking nothing. The scale is for data only. You need to desensitise yourself to it. There's times where I step on the scale and I'm in a deficit and it's went up. And now I know if I have a pizza, I had a pizza last night actually, and I stepped on the scale this morning and I was 800 grams heavier than what I was yesterday. Now the old me would have thought, fuck this, it's not working, fucking binge. But now I know that for 1 or 2 days that number's going to be high. See, by Friday, I'm going to be less than what I am today, and I know it's working. So stick with it.